So, I was wrong. Of course, I would be wrong. I predicted that Boston would win in 7 games, and it did end in 7 games. I was right about that. Just the outcome was wrong. Again, I know that, and I understand that I still made the prediction. I still have to deal with the fact that I'm wrong, and I'm really okay with it. I really am. I mean, again, I don't really follow hockey as much as I do, football. To be honest, football is easily the sport I follow the most. In fact, the reason why I do the NFL picks during the football season is because, honestly, I mean, yeah, you have 32 teams, but the majority of the games happen in a span of, of a couple days, and, each team plays pretty much only 16 times. So that's easy to keep track of. But for sports like baseball, basketball, and of course hockey, you have multiple games and multiple series and multiple days of the week. It's just hard to keep track of it all. That's honestly why. So it's not that I don't like hockey or basketball or baseball. I do. I really do. In fact, I played Little League basketball and baseball, and I don't really have that much experience with hockey, but I do enjoy, at the very least, ice skating occasionally. In fact, full disclosure, back when I was at Horseheads High School, we actually had a gym unit called ice skating. It was actually kind of fun. It actually kind of rekindled my love for, winter sports. So, yeah, again, don't even ask who my favorite team is for hockey or basketball. I mean, baseball, I guess you could just say Yankees, I guess. But, even then, again, I don't really follow those sports as much as I probably should. But, I like to think I'm getting better with that. I mean, again, if it wasn't for me trying to, follow, the Stanley Cup finals, I wouldn't have even made any prediction at all. And again, I only really picked the Boston Bruins to win because, back when I was at Trinity Pauling, they were easily among one of the biggest hot commodities. Like them, the Penguins, the Flyers, and the Capitals. So, yeah. And actually, come to think of it, I did talk about the Stanley Cup Finals a year ago when Las Vegas was first in there against Washington. But, to be fair though, that was worth paying attention to because, it was the first year that Las Vegas was an established NHL team. And it was the first time that a team in its first year ever made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's pretty historic. The only thing we can speculate on now is how much more historic would it be if they actually won, because if any of you guys remember a year ago, the Capitals won. So, there's that. So, I like to think I'm getting better, and, who knows, maybe when basketball and hockey, start next year, I'll probably be able to try and follow a little more. And again, I really don't have a favorite team in both of those sports. And I guess I could follow baseball a little bit, but I don't know if can someone tell me if I'm late to the party at all about that? Don't get me wrong, I do like baseball, and I do like hearing when some teams succeed and others don't. Well, actually, technically I don't necessarily care for it when I hear that teams don't succeed because, it's kind of sad. But, I'd like to learn more. I need to surround myself with people who actually know this stuff better than I do. Well, sure, it's not that hard. We do live in the day of the internet, and, I watch people on the internet all the time. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah. Regardless of what I'm saying, it's no excuse for the fact that technically I was incorrect in terms of who I predicted to win the Stanley Cup. Come to think of it, I think it may very well be the second year in a row I've been wrong. I mean, when I was doing who I thought would win the Stanley Cup last year, I picked Vegas, but that's more for the historical significance of it rather than, who I thought was better. And I guess technically, since I was talking about the fact that the Bruins really were, again, a hot commodity when I was at Trinity Pauling, I guess it sort of indicates a similar thing. Again, I don't really follow this stuff as much as I ought to. I would like to, though. If anyone, could help me out with that, that'd be sweet. But, yep. Although, speaking of sports that I don't follow as much as I should, we do have Game 6 tonight. Yeah. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and, probably like a lot of people in the basketball community, again, I don't really see myself as part of the basketball community just because I don't really follow as much as I should. But I do feel bad for Kevin Durant. I mean, KD may very well have been the best player in the NBA as of right now. Again, I don't follow the NBA as much as I ought to, but I do follow enough where I hear, some of the basic important facts. And for sure one of them is how important KD is to a lot of NBA fans and how good Golden State is all around. Of course, now that he's out, if Steph Curry wants that Finals MVP title, this is his opportunity to earn it. So that should be an interesting watch. Wow, I can't believe I actually talked for this long and I haven't even remotely done the intro yet. How very rude of me to do so. Good morning and happy Thursday, everybody. Well, I just made a stunning realization. Right now, it's actually really, really, really cloudy outside. To the point where if someone was to think it was going to rain, I wouldn't blame them. I wonder if it does rain if the heavens are weeping that the Boston Bruins lost. I mean, I didn't even stay up for the entire game because, I stayed up for about halfway through the game. So, middle of the second period. So, it was still 2-0. I'm like, okay, if Boston is going to do something, they better do it soon. And, nothing was. So, I'll go to bed. And so, the fact I see the score is 4-1, that is definitely an indication of, how good, St. Louis is in the clutch. Plus, one thing I did, sorry, I was looking at, something moving on my computer screen. It's actually sort of like a gif of, one of the players of the St. Louis Blues hoisting the Stanley Cup. Sorry. Where was I? Oh, yeah. One thing I guess that is sort of cool, regardless of the fact of whether I was right or wrong, is that one of the announcers on TV, not in the actual arena, mentioned that whichever team wins, their captain it will be the first time that their captain will have hoisted the Stanley Cup in the air. So, I guess congratulations to the captain of the St. Louis Blues. You guys earned it. And actually, it is historic in a way because, I had no idea that the Blues never won the Stanley Cup before. Yeah, last night was the first time that the St. Louis Blues ended up winning. So, winning the Stanley Cup, that is. So, that's actually really cool. And in a way, I guess, we witnessed history in the making. And plus, the Boston Bruins have plenty of, I know they at least have 2 Stanley Cup wins. I would need to look it up again. But again, I'm not really too worried about, the Boston Bruins. Because even though I don't really follow hockey as much as I ought to, it's still a storied franchise. Pretty much anyone who's even heard of hockey has at least heard of the Boston Bruins at some point. So, if this is a devastating loss for the Bruins, I think they'll bounce back. And, if for whatever reason the St. Louis Blues get a quote-unquote Stanley Cup hangover, you know, it's it's technically bad, but again, any great team can bounce back from anything. You know, it's in a way it's like what Shannon Sharp said about what was his name? Marcus Williams when the Minneapolis Miracle happened. Like, if you're made of the right stuff, you can bounce back from anything. And I guess considering my story overall, and considering that what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow is any indication, I don't know if I'm made of the right stuff, but it's definitely good stuff. So, yeah, there's that. Again, we have a new episode of Hot Ones today. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna see Trevor Noah. I wonder I'm curious to see what questions that Sean Evans asks him. That'll be fun. It also does remind me, another sport I don't really follow, like, at all, that I probably should. Soccer. And the World Cup is today. So, well, not today, but it's been going on. And I know the U.S. women's team completely destroyed Thailand 13-0. It's actually funny. I mentioned many times in the past that I am not, like, an Eagles fan. What I mean is, I do not like the organization. Or the overall fans in general. Because, not only did you boo Santa Claus, but you also booed a 99-year-old lady from Minnesota. Seriously, that's not cool. But there are players on the Eagles I do like, because in the end, these guys are, yeah, we like to make fun of the fact that they're spoiled, rich, athletic millionaires, but they still have a job to do. They still put themselves through a lot of hard work and pain and blood, sweat, and tears. So, while I don't really like the Eagles as an organization, there are players I do like. And one of them is Zach Ertz and his wife, Julie Ertz, I think her name is, Julie Ertz. She actually plays on the women's soccer team, which, that's really neat. But, I was actually watching the NFL Top 100 recently from last year. And pretty much if you're the Super Bowl winning team, you're going to get plenty of, Eagles players on that list. And of course, Zach Ertz was one of them. I do believe he might have been player number, can't believe I'm going to be saying this number. I think he was number 69 on that list. And the beginning of the video starts off with Jason Kelsey being asked, did you see the reaction of Zach Ertz reacting to his wife, reacting to the fact that you guys made the Super Bowl? And then Jason Kelsey's like, yeah, my fiance showed it to me. And it was pretty awesome. And then they actually show that clip. So, I didn't just see Julie Ertz react to Zach Ertz making the Super Bowl. I saw Inception in the making. I saw Zach Ertz react to Julie Ertz reacting to Zach Ertz making the Super Bowl. And I gotta go. And even though I was mad at Jason Kelsey for making fun of my Dallas Cowboys, he did lose to them twice last year, so all's forgiven. I gotta agree with what Jason Kelsey ended up saying is that it doesn't get sweeter, better than that. The husband and wife reaction thing, not the Cowboys beating the Eagles. Although, for me, it doesn't get much sweeter than that, so there we go. Yeah. I've actually been to talk about this for a while too, but I meant to give another hint as to what the main course of my full course menu is on Monday, but I just kept forgetting, so hey, better late than never. So if you guys need a quick recap on what the clues are, is that all three respective places where you can get this item is the GOAT. One of these places you can get the item, I have mentioned before while talking about another item on my full course menu. And all three places, well, technically, really two of them, but you can make a stretch for three. All three places are within walking distance of each other. So, The next clue I'm going to point out is, believe it or not, this is actually an item that the late, great Anthony Bourdain once criticized. Not greatly, but still, still kind of, it was still criticism is what I'm trying to get at. So, yes, you now have another hint, and I should probably get moving on before I ramble on too much. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on the social media platforms. I am humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I hope we all have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. You're ready to watch a new episode hot once. It's going to be awesome. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care, and of course, make good choices. See ya.